Radio.
Greetings, you're now watching Radio Science Channel. Let's talk about breakups. But wait, we are a science channel, so I don't mean love breakup. I mean continents splitting up. Our topic today is about Earth and how it looked 258 million years ago, and how it will look in the future after another 250 million years from now.
Yes, talk about the ultimate breakup of continents. The supercontinent Pangaea is separating at an approximate rate of 2.5 centimeters per year and became what it is now. It splits into two plates and was called Laurasia and Gondwana on about 150 million years ago. Then the process of splitting in halves occurs repeatedly until it splits into continents of North America, Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica within 100 million years ago. And today, it is what we know now as the Earth's 7 continents.
During that time when continents like Africa, Europe, America, and all other continents from one big landmass known as supercontinent Pangaea. Due to the constant churning of magma underneath the Earth's crust, they all split up and moved to their modern-day positions.
Laurasia and Gondwana were the resulting sub-megacontinents when Pangaea broke into two parts.
Laurasia was made out of North America, Europe, and Asia. On the other hand, Gondwana consisted of Africa, South America, Antarctica, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent. For the next 145 million years, each individual continent would slowly move to their current positions. Not much has occurred in the positions of the plates since the last 50 million years, but there are a few notable changes. Did you know that Papua New Guinea used to be connected to mainland Australia? And Malaysia and Indonesia used to be a part of modern-day China. The Red Sea and Persian Gulf were non-existent, so Egypt and Sudan shared borders with Saudi Arabia and Yemen. In the north, Saudi Arabia and UAE were attached to Iran.
What will future Earth look like? Scientists can predict that for another quarter billion years, the Earth, based on their movement, speed, and what direction they move can change how our Earth today will look like in the future. One theory known as Pangaea Ultima, it proposes that subduction zone will form off the east coast of America, closing off the Atlantic and forming another supercontinent like Pangaea in about 250 million years.
Hypothetically, the Earth's plates will shift, causing the continents to rearrange. Both continents, North and South America, are moving to the west. That makes the Atlantic Ocean to continue to grow and expand. Meanwhile, the continent of Africa will move north and will collide with Europe. It will most likely form a landform that is a mountain or plateau of some kind, similar to the Himalayas, where the Mediterranean Sea is located. The continent of Australia is also moving to the north and will eventually smash the Indonesian archipelago. However, beyond the next 50 million years or so, the future becomes harder for us to see.
Rest assured, the shape of our countries will remain the same for a very long time. Tectonic plates do only ever separate on divergent boundaries, and most of the divergent plate boundaries are situated in the middle of the ocean.
Our current continents are in a state of pushing each other and converging upon one another because, as mentioned before, the plates are shifting to form another supercontinent. Nevertheless, there are still some places around the world that are slowly getting torn apart each day. Take Iceland for example. It lies between two divergent plates, the Eurasian and North American plate. Have you ever heard of the San Andreas Fault? San Andreas is slowly drifting towards the north as it lies on the edge of the Pacific plate and not the North American one. Let's take a look at Africa. The crust of Africa lies upon the African and Somali plate. Thankfully, these two plates are moving in cohesion, or else a huge chunk of the east of Africa would be floating away. The Indian plate shares a convergent boundary with the Eurasia plate, but there is still a possibility that its direction might shift and therefore detach from Asia. A small part of Siberia will also most likely separate from the Russian Federation because it lies on the North American plate, which is divergent with the Eurasian plate. Luckily, it will take millions of years for these changes to take effect, and these are just theories, so there's really no telling what may happen.
Here we have a very simple model that will demonstrate the movement of tectonic plates. As we all know, about 250 million years ago, the continents of Africa and South America used to be connected. As mentioned by a previous group, there were similar fossils that were found on Africa and South America. As the continents were moving away from each other, the gap in the middle was filled by water. The gap became wider and wider and is still growing this present day. This body of water in the middle of these two continents is what we call the Atlantic Ocean.
That is way too long for us to see. I was once asked, what will happen to the Philippines once another Pangaea is formed? Well, it is predicted that since Philippines is a small country, it will not be seen since it will be compressed with another continents. But we will never really know what exactly will happen a million years from now on.
Another theory is Amasia, which supposes that the Atlantic will keep getting bigger and that North America will join Europe and Asia at the North Pole. Another theory is called Nova Pangaea. It envisions a future Earth that's similar to Amasia, but with the Pacific Ocean closed off, as Australia and Antarctica move into the former ocean basin.
But obviously, we will not be there by then. A quarter billion years from now, our descendants and the other descendants of the modern world will have evolved and diversified to occupy the planet that looks totally different from our world as of now. The idea of here will slowly drift just as it has been before, and it will be in the next billion years.
That was an interesting learning today. What billion years for us now is incredibly unimaginable. Thank you for tuning with us. See you in the next video.